Hello everyone, this is Javamonk and welcome to episode 70 of my survival series. So, last episode we built up this awesome looking villager trading hall. And let me tell you, I should have done this maybe 40 episodes ago because check this out. We got a ton of emerald blocks. We can actually build with emerald blocks now. We got 35 blocks of emeralds, plus I finally have a place to put all the overflows of pumpkins and melons. I can all give it to this farmer villager right here. So I've been trying to figure out how villager trading works, and sometimes with success, sometimes not so much, but I got some apples and cake out of it, so I suppose I can't complain too much. Apples are kind of a pain to get, so the less I have to go out and chop trees, the better. Okay. I could trade potatoes and carrots, but I don't actually have any functional farms for those. No functional automatic farms. But that's not the subject of this episode. This episode, we are actually coming back to this project and we're going to put in a system to store the villagers that I don't want to bring into this hall, or I actually discard from this hall because they turn out to be inferior. Because I do not want to kill the inferior or unwanted villagers. That's just, I don't want to do that. Instead, I'm going to be using flying machines to transport them to various places. Specifically, and so here's the grand plan for... Let's just stash all this stuff away. Oh, and I got an empty map from this. Let's see. Suppose I don't really need rotten flesh. I mean, I do, but I could get it really easily, so off it goes. So the places where I would take the discarded villagers. There is the Sky Village over here. There is, let's see, over here in this direction, there's this place called Paradise Island, or Plastic Paradise. Let's see. Here it is, Plastic Paradise. So I could transport the villagers here. This was built back in episode 42, and I always intended to put villagers in here, but I never really had a way to get villagers in here. And of course, this place is governed by King Nivoka over here. So here's the ultimate plan for this place. The villagers from the trading hall are gonna be transported using a flying machine and drop into this pool, at which point the flying machine will then return. So this Plastic Paradise, by the way, is totally safe, so that is not an issue. Also, the Sky Village is also mostly safe. Let's actually take a look here. This was built a few episodes ago, so it's got a couple houses and a zeppelin. I'm going to put in a landing pad over here for the flying machines to actually transport them. So at the moment, there's really nothing here. There soon will, though. This will become a bustling village soon enough. Now, as for the villagers that are as for nitwits, I'd like to put them in a special containment cell, or totally useless villagers like leather workers. I'm gonna build a specific holding cell for them, and they're gonna be used in an iron farm. First things first, this overly complicated contraption needs to go because it is pretty much unnecessary. It is unnecessarily complicated. It is pretty smart, and I like the system a lot. So I'm actually going to be using this. I'm going to build up this exact contraption on top of the island. But for down here, where I basically all I'm doing is just judging the villagers based on should I take them to the trading hall or not, that I think could just be a simple system. Simple system. It does not need to be this complicated or this, or I guess this smart. So I'm going to tear this whole thing down and build it up on top of the island. This contraption here is actually way more complicated than I originally thought. And I built this several months ago, actually. I think in episode 23 or something like that. So this is a pretty ancient contraption. And quite frankly, it is so complicated, I actually have no idea how it works. I'm going to have to go back to the test world where I built this and see exactly what it does and see if I can actually compact anything. I probably could. And now we have the world's simplest villager sorter. Just 2 buttons and a couple pistons. That's it. So the village... Actually, let's summon the villager. Here comes a villager. So now, all we gotta do is just walk up to him. As soon as he drops down, just like this. You are a shepherd. Very good. Yes, go into the system. Okay, and then send another one. That's not such a great villager, unless it's a butcher, in which case I could trade meats with him. Oh, you are a butcher. Okay, go in then. Okay. I'm hoping for something for a villager I actually don't want, like a weaponsmith. Weaponsmiths are kind of pointless. Ah, leatherworker. Okay. Leatherworkers? No. So they just drop down the hole. For now. So, for now, I'm just gonna kill this guy. Because right now there is no system to keep them alive. And moving them in a minecart, even though they are in a minecart, is just an absolute pain. So now, we need to put in a system to actually put these villagers somewhere. I'm still not entirely sure. Well, actually, I do know exactly what to do here. So, I'm going to put a rail underneath this tube here, and that will transport the villagers to a special holding cell. And this holding cell is actually, I'm thinking making it kind of, I guess, intelligent? So as for detecting just how many villagers are going to be in each containment cell, I'm going to be using something that I must admit I've never used, and I really don't know anybody who has. A weighted pressure plate. I've never used a weighted pressure plate for the purposes of being a weighted pressure plate. I've always used it for decoration-related stuff. So, I've been reading up on the wiki on how exactly to use these things, and they are actually really, really cool. But their uses are limited, but when you do use them, it is really, really cool. And it's not to be used for items at all. So let's see. We have a weighted pressure plate right here. This should definitely not be a repeater. And basically, I'm going to detect when the signal strength of this weighted pressure plate reaches level 3, which means that there are 21 villagers in this cell. When this happens, that basically is a warning system and what it's basically going to do is close up the cell, so that way no more villagers can accidentally drop in. Okay. So here's how I think this is going to work, and quick warning, it's probably not going to. This is going to be just the cells for the unwanted villagers that I initially discard. So, they are going in cells of 20 each, and they'll just pile up in these cells. I'm going to unload them from their minecarts, and their minecarts are going to be filtered back into the system to allow more villagers in. And they're just going to sit in these cells forever, or at least until I decide to release them. At which point I'm going to drop them into something that looks kind of like this. One of these systems here. And this is going to be exactly the same system it's basically a system to load the villager back into the minecart. So let's just cover this back up. Actually, we need a dispenser. So this system here, what it's going to do is it's basically going to load the villagers back into their minecart, at which point they will be picked up in the minecart and transported off to wherever I want them to go. So let's just get a cobblestone slab here. And let's real quick actually make sure that this works, because if it doesn't, that'll be not so great. So let's just power this on. Oh, maybe not there. And now, let's place a minecart in here and find the button to activate this dispenser. And then, here we go. Okay, looks like it works. So now, we just gotta put in an automatic system, so when the cell opens up, it'll just drop all the villagers in, and then it'll automatically dispense a whole bunch of minecarts onto this rail here. Okay, this is by no means compact, and this is not a tutorial. So, I'm just gonna build this up on camera, and see how well I do, because I often don't do redstone on camera, and usually that's because I end up making some really stupid mistakes. So this is a pretty simple contraption. Let's just grab some gold here to build redstone on. Okay, so when this pressure plate reaches a signal strength of 3, it'll activate this, which will power this on. So what needs to happen is, first it needs to remove this block here, and then push this block forward, and then it really doesn't matter which order it retracts. So as long as... Okay, let's see if this actually works. Like this? There we go. Okay, let's say that we replace this real quick with a repeater. That's where we can actually test without it being annoying. Okay, so if I drop an item down here, okay, and it also seems to be clicking on some minecart stuff. Okay, and now let's just climb in here and retrieve that item. Okay, it really doesn't matter which way it retracts, because at that point the villagers would not be in the system anymore. Okay, and I have 21 minecarts in this hopper stream here, so it'll be able to handle 1 shipment of villagers. Okay, so far this seems to be working, but now we need a system to actually... Yeah, now we need a system to keep on dispensing minecarts. So let's see. If I do something... No? Something like this. And I suppose just a simple little redstone clock will do... no. That's not actually powering the dispenser. Let's try this again, this time with less failing. Here we go. That's just gonna dispense some minecarts. Okay. I think this is a short enough pulse, a short enough clock to actually power on the system. Okay, let's remove this redstone torch. Here we go. So let's see. In order to make sure that this doesn't get annoying with its constant powering of minecarts, I think we're just gonna put in a redstone line going up and around like this. And I suppose I could put in a quick and easy pulse length there. Yeah. Okay. There we go. We got a redstone coming in, and now let's just swap out these blocks here with a comparator-based pulse lengthener. So that's just 4 blocks here. And to make these, I guess I need 6 comparators. There we go. Not that comparators are an issue. I still have the 3 shulker boxes full of redstone supplies. Let's see. Here we go, and there we go. And there we no. That's not what I want to do. I don't want to lock the hopper. But I do want to do this. Here we go. And there we go. There we go. And just need a block. Done. So now we have a pulse lengthener to constantly power these. Maybe I could do that. There we go. So now it'll just constantly power that dispenser and load in a bunch of villagers into minecarts. Cool. The system works like it should now. So now all we need is, I think we just need to place in one more of these cells. And also we need to place in the logic to make sure that the cell does not open up if it's already full. Progress update. So we have a rail that goes up to this mechanism over here, which will basically unload the villager and they will drop into this first cell unless that cell is already occupied, at which point it'll close up that cell and instead the villager will go into this cell over here. Once this cell is full, it will then send this redstone signal down to here to this lamp. And that lamp being on means that we need to unload the villagers. And that can be done very, very easily by just pressing this button. So now all we need, I think actually putting the villagers into minecarts is actually kind of a pointless endeavor. So instead of doing that, we're going to transport them. We're just going to load them straight onto some flying machines. So I think in this cell, well, this cell we can actually keep up and actually we can build up 2 cells over here built exactly the same way. Those will be for the good villagers that just became obsolete. These are mainly for nitwits and other completely worthless villagers that are initially worthless and there's no point in storing them in the villager trading hall. At which point they can go here and I can transport them later to a villager farm. No, an iron farm or something like that. But as for the useful villagers, I think I'm only going to transport them maybe 10 at a time. And then those villagers, they can just be transported. So I'm going to put 2 cells. One cell is going to transport them to Sky Village. The other is going to transport them to Paradise Island. Okay. Let's put in those 2 cells. Tragedy struck. It's official. This farm, well, this trading hall is not zombie-proof. We lost a good farmer villager. And a bunch of other villagers. So, yeah, that's really kind of sad, actually. So, we're going to have to also zombie-proof this trading hall, because otherwise, I can't just go... If ever I find a villager for mending, I'm not gonna accept being able to let him just get eaten by zombies. That's just... I can't let that happen. I can't let that keep happening. So we're gonna have to zombie-proof these villagers, and I actually have no idea how to do that. And now, we can test out the full system that we have in place. So down here, I just have a whole bunch of hoppers just crisscrossing all over the place. And those are all just feeding the minecarts from those villager cells back into the loading system. So now, let's request a villager to be judged. And now, this guy is a cleric. Useful. Okay. Send in another. Let's see. We have a librarian, or cartographer. Also useful. Okay. Let's see if we can actually get a villager that's not useful. Ooh. That's not a useful villager. Let's see. This guy's a weaponsmith, so... No. Do not keep this guy. Okay, let's follow him with the camera account. And the camera account is watching this guy. Pops up over the hill here. And is dismounted. And doesn't move. Seriously? Okay, finally got that guy untrapped. And now... Okay, we have one villager in here. And the weighted pressure plate is giving off a signal. Fantastic. And unfortunately, the dispenser will dispense one minecart for the first villager that drops in. I'm really not sure how to fix that. Not very easily, anyways. Okay, the new and improved system to unload villagers. Uh-oh. That's not how that's supposed to work. I guess I need to add in a little delay to make sure that doesn't happen. And now, a villager trading hall is completely filled up. So, most of our good villagers have been replaced because the previous ones got eaten by zombies. So, but we still got the really good paper trade here, which is currently locked up for some reason. And the super good rotten flesh trade, who is also... Wait, you can get bottles of enchanting from villagers? I did not know that. Anyways, since we have a cleric that will... Well, hold on. I wonder what the best gold trade is. Is it... I think it's 8 ingots. Pretty sure I saw a villager that... Yeah, this guy. This guy is really our best. A best cleric. So, best cleric. Which means that this cleric here... So, I'm going to take this cleric out of the villager trading hall system, and now this is really going to be a test villager to see if the discarding mechanism actually works. So, yeah, the minecart is moving ridiculously slowly, but I don't want to remove the villager from the minecart as they're traveling along here. What I'm really concerned about are these water streams, because it looks like the villager comes to a complete halt. And what I'm hoping is that these villagers don't drown. Because if they do, then we could have some serious problems. Because that means a villager that's discarded at the beginning of the hall here, it would be dead by the time it reaches the place where it could be. Okay. So, looks like we're gonna have to figure out a different solution to actually carry these villagers. Well, crap. Oh boy. Yeah, that's not good. Maybe I could replace these gold blocks here on the floor with ice of some variant. Possibly even blue ice, even though that is outrageously expensive. Oh boy. Okay, I basically deregistered this villager. Hang on. There we go. Okay, so I gotta figure out a solution to actually discard the villagers in a way that doesn't actually kill them, because that is not good. Because villagers like that, I want to take them to Plastic Paradise. And I can't do that if these water streams are going to kill them. So I got a stack and a half and a little bit more of blue ice. Do you have any idea how long this took me to get? This took me many, many hours to get this much blue ice. So I hope this fixes the problem, because if it doesn't, I'm probably going to end up rage quitting. But anyways... First off, we gotta actually figure out a way to put in the blue ice in a way that won't destroy every single torch underneath the island. Okay. If there was a way to just slow down water flow, that'd be great. But I don't think there is. So I'm just gonna have to replace all of these gold blocks here with blue ice, and hopefully that fixes the problem. Hopefully that'll give the villagers enough momentum to actually get past these water streams here. So I'll get back to you whenever this works or it doesn't work. Either way, we're putting it in blue ice. Hey, guess what? I didn't have enough blue ice to cover the entire track here. But it doesn't look like I need all that much more, so it shouldn't be too big of a problem, I don't think. Uh-oh. And of course the water washed out a bunch of torches, so I'm gonna have to rebuild a bunch of things like torches everywhere, and also this place is not zombie proof, so I'm gonna leave the island right now. Okay, let's hope that this actually works correctly now. So this fish... Okay, this cleric right here. Not so great of a trade, so... or at least not the absolutely ideal cleric here. Whoa, lag spike. Lag spike of death. What's going on here? Okay. So if I send this guy out of here, then the question is, will he survive now? Now that there's blue ice here to make his journey just a little bit faster. In fact, quite significantly faster. So, if the slipperiness of the ground is changed, will this guy survive? He's not moving at all. Move. Why is the minecart stuck? Seriously. Why is the minecart stuck? This makes no sense. Because it was moving just fine in the water stream, but then it got stuck over here. What in the world? Okay. I'm gonna real quick break this guy out of his minecart. So, you can run free. Sort of. Maybe it's lag caused. Because that guy's not exactly jumping all that great. Uh-oh. Okay. Let's jump down here. Okay. Let's see here. If I intentionally flush myself down the system in a minecart, and okay. Huh. Looks like I'm moving at a snail's pace. So if I have no armor on, then for some reason this minecart is moving at a snail's pace, even though I placed blue ice under here. What in the world? Does blue ice not do anything? I thought this stuff was useful. And now I'm stuck. Okay. So we got an issue here, because I can't use rails because they need to be sloped the whole way, and I don't exactly have room for that sort of nonsense. And also, and now I can't use water streams because minecarts are way too slow. So now what? I have no idea, actually. And we got a lag spike of death here. Okay, the water is gone, so now we can just dig up all this blue ice and use it for something else. That was a waste of time. So now I'm thinking we should attempt a sloped rails method of transporting the discarded villagers. There's no guarantee that it'll actually work, but hopefully this comes with more success than drowning the discarded villagers before they even reach their proper holding cells. Okay, here's the rail system we have in place now. So underneath these observers, so the discarded villagers are gonna come down this rail and go through the observer and land on the sloped rail right here, which will cause them to immediately start going in a straight line, or they will start actually going down the rail. Oops. Better update that rail. There we go. Yeah, we got some phantoms around here. So this bumpiness is really what's going to allow the villager in a minecart to actually traverse the rail line. Okay, here we go. And now on this side, we also need to power up all these rails, which is relatively easy to do. Yeah, this is much easier than a water stream would have been. So, yeah, and plus, you don't actually have to carry over from, you don't have to go from a rail to a water stream or the other way around. So now, if we hop up into the villager trading hall, nope, not like that, like this. Okay, so now we have a perfect cleric, and over here we have a not so great cleric. Actually, let's pick one of the not so great clerics over here. Here we go. This is a really not so great cleric. So now, discard, and off he goes. So, if they land on the uh-oh. Oh, no you don't. Oh, no you don't. Get out of here, zombie. How are these zombies even getting here? This makes no sense. Seriously, how are they even getting in here? They shouldn't be able to. And now I'm gonna have to push this librarian in a minecart to the rail again. So now the trick is zombie-proofing these villagers. And whoa. Yeah, good luck with that, Phantom. See ya. And see ya. Okay. I have no idea how I'm going to zombie-proof these villagers. So, it'd be helpful if I could actually figure out where the zombies were even coming from. Okay. What's also worth checking is if the villager cell over here actually works for the good villagers that became obsolete. And more tragedy, it looks like quite a bit of the redstone here actually washed out from putting in the blue ice in the island up above. So I also gotta replace most of this redstone. How much of it was destroyed down here? Oh, brother. That was pretty much every logic circuit in this entire flying machine system. I hate water sometimes. Even though it's update aquatic. This thing completely broke. I don't know what's wrong, but it's now suddenly decided to completely refuse to transport villagers. And I have no idea why that's happening. It's really worrying too. Well, now we got some issues because all of a sudden this mechanism to transport villagers, it worked fine, but now it doesn't. And I have a hunch that the reason for that is because of this carpet here. I don't have any basis in fact about that assumption. I just have a hunch that that's what it is. So there's 10 minecarts, there's the 18 minecarts, I think. See, there's 8, and there's 11 here, so 19 minecarts, 20 minecarts. Let's just plop all of these into this here. Just drop them all into here. And the one that can't be dropped in is just the one to set off the entire mechanism. Just like this. So we need to get some more villagers into the villager trading hall, because I just checked and made quite a few villagers obsolete and stashed those away. So, and yes, they're perfectly safe. The only issue is now the trading hall is almost empty. So let's get these villagers in and make sure that they, first off, can't escape the elevator cell. Or at least, if they do, they wouldn't want to. and that seems to be the case over here. Second, we also need to make sure that when the elevator goes up, it doesn't make all the villagers spray out in random directions. As for why this was happening in the first place, I haven't got the foggiest idea. Also, I gotta figure something out with the trapdoor there. Okay, this is the final villager into the elevator, and so far none of the villagers have leaked out. And okay, and all the villagers are behaving properly as they go up the elevator. So it turns out the carpet inside the elevator is actually what makes it work. That's pretty interesting, actually. Now it is nighttime, and I am quite worried that some of these have turned into zombies, but yeah, interesting. None of the villagers have had a zombie infection. So either I successfully prevented zombies from ever spawning, or they just haven't reached here yet. I'm guessing it's the second thing yet. I'm guessing it's still the second thing. Yeah, because there's a zombie right here. Wait. It's holding an arrow, so it wouldn't despawn. Okay, that's just been... I guess that's just been there for the last couple hours. Okay, so I'm just gonna sort out these villagers and put them... arrange them in their cells as they should. So... we can check up on these villager cells so far. We have just a few villagers in... Oops, flying way too fast. We have a few villagers in this cell here for the useful villagers. For the worthless villagers, we have... still less than 10. Okay, so it looks like none of those cells actually fill up all that quickly. And I removed the automatically dispense minecarts mechanism for the obsolete villagers because they're just going to be transported using flying machines. They're not going to be transported on minecarts using rails. Uh-oh. Oh. Well, there goes that zombie. And he's dead. Good. Okay. And now the villagers are being pushed out and into the hole. And then down goes the elevator. Okay, time to sort this out. Thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode where we built up the system to deal with the villagers that come from the villager trading hall. Whether they were chucked out because I didn't want them in the hall in the first place, or I chucked them out because they became obsolete. Either way, they are alive and well and stuck in these cells until I find a better place to put them. So that is what we built up this episode. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please let me know. And hopefully next week I can get another episode of the Survival series up, where my schedule might clear up to the point where that is possible to do again. But anyways, thank you for watching. I'll see you next video. Bye!